Mercedes, BMW, and Audi sales all fell worldwide in 2024. The global car market actually grew in 2024. Sales in China grew by nearly 5% versus the previous year. So some companies are winning. BYD obviously is winning. I mean, Zeekr is winning. Many car companies in China are taking sales away from these German automakers. Audi sales, for example, fell by nearly 13% last year in 2024. But it's not just Audi. It's BMW, it's Mercedes, it's the Japanese and German automotive industries. They're being hurt. Here are the numbers behind BMW's fall in 2024. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Guys, great to have you with us. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for supporting us on YouTube or on Patreon. Really appreciate your support. Guys, I personally am feeling really positive today because I just drove my EV. As I'm sure you know, it's an Xpeng G6. I drove it using solar from my solar system. It was free, completely free. And I'm charging my EV with only solar. I mean, I've done a couple of road trips where you got no choice, but 99% of my use is coming from my solar, and I'm paying nothing. Plus, I got a credit on my bill. So since I got my solar system installed, I paid nothing for electricity, but I'm in credit by about $100, which is amazing considering the amount of energy I consume here, which is astronomical. If you want to get a solar system, if you're in Australia, I recommend using Resync Solar. By the way, I don't make any money from that. I just use them and they're fantastic. Now, BMW sales slipped last year worldwide as a costly recall compounded a slump in demand in China that has hit Germany's automakers hard, says Automotive News Europe. Sales of the group's cars, which include the Mini and Rolls-Royce brands, dropped 4% to 2.45 million vehicles in 2024. But part of the problem here is there's not just a decline in sales, it's also a decline in revenue and profits. BMW walked back its outlook in September after a faulty braking system forced it to recall as many as 1.5 million vehicles. Actual proper, not a software recall like Tesla, but an in-person recall, which is very expensive. That took a big toll on deliveries in China. Now, it's not like an isolated event like that. It's what's really hurting these German automakers in China. It's really a terminal decline. There's nothing they can do about it because the perception in China is that German automakers, Western automakers, don't make EVs that are as good as China's or Tesla's vehicles. They're Chinese brands, for example. There's nothing really, I think, Mercedes or BMW or Audi can do to prevent this. And they don't have the technology. It just doesn't exist in Germany. It's good, but it's not good enough. German car makers have been left behind in China, says Automotive News Europe, the world's biggest auto market, as consumers increasingly opt for local brands. They are also grappling with weak demand for electric vehicles in Europe after several countries slashed subsidies. Now, interestingly, guys, the best-selling performance car that BMW manufactured, the best-selling in 2024 was an EV. So clearly, even performance cars, people want electric cars. You might hear all this stuff on the news and the media. Performance car buyers don't want EVs, but by far BMW's best-selling performance car in 2024 was electric. What does that tell us? So apparently, the challenges triggered a wave of profit warnings last year, including from Mercedes-Benz, Audi's parent Volkswagen Group, and from BMW. Earlier on January the 13th, Audi sales deliveries for 2024 fell by nearly 13% to 1.67 million vehicles, as it struggled with intensifying competition in Europe and China and weak demand for its EVs as well. Porsche, another Volkswagen-controlled brand, said that China deliveries slumped 28% last year, though total sales improved in the fourth quarter. But for the entire year, sales were down 28%. China is by far the biggest buyer of Porsches in the world, the biggest country for Porsche sales in the world. Well, it might not be this year though. Rival Mercedes last week saw a similar pickup in demand in the final few months of 2024, which is completely normal for the Chinese car market. It still reported a decline in sales last year. For BMW, EVs offered a bright spot compared to its rivals, with deliveries of battery-powered models such as the i4 sedan and the iX1 SUV rising by 14% last year. So BMW's EV sales increased pretty significantly, 14% in 2024. That's a really positive data considering EV sales for Audi declined by 8% And Mercedes-Benz sales also declined in 2024 as well. This performance meant fully electric vehicles made up 17% of BMW's total global car sales last year. That's better than Mercedes' 9.3%. It's much better. Very important as well, this will save BMW a lot of money because rules in Europe mean that approximately 20% of the cars you sell in 2025 need to be an electric car in order to meet emission standards as a brand across all of Europe. Basically, around about 20% of your cars need to be EVs sold in 2025. And then you won't have to pay these big fines or pool with Tesla, pay Tesla or Polestar, Volvo for their tax credit, for their EV tax credits. So Mercedes-Benz will probably be forced to pay some significant amounts of money in 2025, probably Audi will as well, to their rivals because they won't be selling enough electric cars to actually meet emission standards. BMW is relying on EVs now after launching several new battery models as the high-volume i4 and iX2 crossover last year. BMW will later this year present the first model of its new class line of plug-in hybrid cars with production starting in late 2025. Meanwhile, Mercedes-Benz aims, or so does Audi, to revive flagging EV sales with a bunch of upgraded, newer models in 2025. Really, at this point in time, it's clear Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi are all struggling. But BMW is definitely the one doing better of the three. Their EV sales, big upgrade, a big significant improvement in 2024. Whereas Audi and Mercedes fell backwards significantly. What are your thoughts on how this will play out? I'm surprised by BMW's resurgence. I'm going to say kudos to them. Their sales did fall by 4%, but I think overall they had a pretty good year in 2024. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Honestly, a lot of people are saying BMW have completely lost the plot. The new BMW M5 weighs 2,450 kilograms. And that's not even with a full tank of gas. 2,400, that is 5,500 pounds. It's heavier than a Ford Ranger pickup truck. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. It's great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Now, guys, I do have a real clear point to make here. What the hell is going on at these legacy automakers? It's not just BMW, by the way, Mercedes-Benz as well. Mercedes-Benz, you've probably all seen it. Their new performance vehicles are insanely heavier. And, you know, a lot of people say, including the media, EVs are so heavy, therefore they use more brakes and tires and things